Alright class, let's talk conduction. Okay, I got Sophia the elf here, and she's helping me fry up some bacon. And I'm using my cast iron pan. Love my cast iron pan. If you go online, say why is cast iron better, they talk about how evenly it cooks. Well, why is that? Cast iron pans are very heavy metal pans. Where is my heat coming from right now from my stove? It's coming from the bottom, right under there. That's on, and it's heating up the bottom of this stove. But what makes this so even is conduction. This right here is a very heavy material, very heavy metal material. And metal is a good conductor. And this heavy cast iron metal pan is sucking in all that heat from my stove, and it's dispersing it over this whole area. So is just the bottom where this cooking getting hot? No, because of conduction, and this is all the same material, the heat is slowly getting up there. It's getting warm on the sides now. If it stays on here too much longer, it's going to start to burn me if I were to touch it. And even my handle, you have this long handle, this long metal handle, and right here, it's hot to the touch. I can't hold it for any longer than that. And as I'm moving up, it's getting a little cooler. I can still pick it up from right here, but very soon, because that heat has traveled from the very bottom of this pan that's frying this bacon, and it's come up the side here, and it's slowly moving up this handle right here to the point that this won't be able to be held onto. That's why sometimes when you have pots in your house, they may be made out of a different material. Like this pot that I used the other day for the demonstration we did, it's got a handle that's made out of a different material that's an insulator. We'll talk about insulators later on next week. But that's why a lot of your pots may have a different handle than what the pot itself is made out of, because of conduction. It's trying to slow down the conduction so this part right here won't heat up and you won't burn yourself. But this cast iron pan here, the conduction is moving up from the bottom of the stove and moving up the side of this pan, and now this is hot to the touch, and this is starting to warm up too. That's also why when you're baking and things like that, different things have different properties, and they conduct differently. That's why a metal pan and a glass pan are two different things. If I had both of these in the oven right now, and even this silicone pan, we can put these in order of which one will burn Mr. Smith's hand if he forgot to use oven mitt. Okay, this right here is not a very good conductor. So I could almost grab this silicone muffin pan out of the oven without it burning me. This right here would burn me. Okay, it's metal, so this is aluminum, but it's very thin. It's very thin, so it doesn't have a lot of mass. There's not a lot there, so this would burn me if it was in the oven, but not as bad as this glass dish was. Now, look how thick that glass is, and if I were to touch that glass, if it sat in the oven, it might take a little bit longer for this to heat up, but the conduction, because the oven heats up, it has coils in there that heats up the air and starts to heat up this metal. The conduction is what is starting to heat these different products up. So remember, conduction is from touch. So when you put your hand inside of a hot oven, it's hot in there, but remember what is in there. It's air particles. The air particles, they don't burn you as quickly because there's less particles in the air. So think about how air is lighter than this solid. Okay, so go kind of like gas, liquid, solid as far as your conductors are concerned. But this right here would burn me if it's in the oven. This right here, not as bad because this silicone baking sheet, it's not a good conductor. Okay, and conduction is the transfer of heat or thermal energy, the transfer of thermal energy from touch. So that can mean touching the air or touching the product itself. Okay, I hope that explains it, and I've got to go flip my bacon, so you guys have a good day.